The summer of 2023 will be remembered for its brutal heat. Wildfires raged across continents, turning skies apocalyptic orange. Cities sweltered under record-breaking temperatures. News reports from around the globe painted a grim picture. The planet was burning. This was not just another summer. It was a glimpse into a future dominated by climate change. The culprit? A phenomenon known as a heat layer. A band of unusually warm air trapped in the atmosphere, baking the Earth below. While heat layers are not new, their intensity and frequency are escalating, fueled by the unrelenting rise of greenhouse gas emissions. Scientists warn that 2024 could be even worse. Imagine a thick blanket of warm air, trapped in the atmosphere, preventing heat from escaping. This is, in essence, a heat layer. A meteorological phenomenon that can have devastating consequences. Normally, the Earth absorbs solar radiation and releases some of it back into space. However, the buildup of greenhouse gases, primarily carbon dioxide from burning fossil fuels, is thickening the atmospheric blanket. This traps more heat, leading to a gradual warming of the planet, the greenhouse effect. Heat layers exacerbate this warming. They are areas of high pressure where the air is warmer and drier than the surrounding atmosphere. These layers act like a lid, trapping heat below and pushing down on the air mass, leading to stagnant conditions and further temperature increases. The result? Intensified heat waves, prolonged droughts, and an increased risk of wildfires. The science is clear. Human activities are the primary driver of these changes. Our reliance on fossil fuels is warming the planet, and the consequences are becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Climate scientists are sounding the alarm. 2024 could be a year of unprecedented heat. Several factors are converging to create a perfect storm for extreme heat layers. First, the underlying trend of global warming continues unabated. Each year, we pump billions of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, steadily increasing the planet's temperature. Second, the anticipated El Niño event in 2024 is expected to further amplify warming. During El Niño, warm waters in the Pacific Ocean shift eastward, altering weather patterns worldwide and often leading to higher global temperatures. This combination of human-caused climate change and natural climate variability creates a dangerous cocktail for extreme heat. The potential consequences are staggering. Heat waves are projected to be more frequent, more intense and longer lasting. Drought conditions are likely to worsen in many regions, putting immense pressure on water resources and agriculture. Wildfire risk will escalate, threatening lives, homes, and ecosystems. The 2024 heat layer anomaly is not merely a scientific projection, it is a stark warning of the potential chaos that lies ahead. The natural world is acutely feeling the heat of our changing climate. Intensified heat layers pose a significant threat to ecosystems worldwide, pushing many to the brink of collapse. For example, coral reefs, often called the rainforests of the sea, are highly sensitive to temperature changes. Prolonged exposure to warmer waters can lead to coral bleaching, a phenomenon where corals expel the symbiotic algae that provide them with food and color. If bleaching events are severe or prolonged, corals can die, devastating these vibrant ecosystems that support a vast array of marine life. On land, forests are also vulnerable to extreme heat. Drought conditions weaken trees, making them more susceptible to disease and pests. Wildfires, fueled by dry vegetation and soaring temperatures, are becoming more frequent and intense, decimating vast swaths of forest and releasing massive amounts of carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere, further exacerbating climate change. The impacts of heat layers on ecosystems are far-reaching, disrupting delicate balances and threatening the biodiversity that sustains life on Earth. Heat layers are not just about hotter temperatures, they are also a recipe for weather chaos. These layers of warm air disrupt atmospheric circulation patterns, leading to more extreme and unpredictable weather events. For instance, the jet stream, a band of strong winds high in the atmosphere that influences weather patterns, can become wavier and more erratic due to the influence of heat layers. This can lead to prolonged periods of extreme weather, such as heat waves, droughts, and heavy rainfall events. Heat layers can also exacerbate air pollution, trapping pollutants close to the ground and creating unhealthy breathing conditions, especially in urban areas. The interplay between heat layers and weather patterns is complex, but the consequences are clear. More extreme weather, more often, with devastating impacts on communities and infrastructure. The increasing unpredictability of our weather systems is another stark reminder of the profound ways in which climate change is reshaping our world. Beyond the environmental devastation, heat layers pose a direct threat to human health. Extreme heat is a silent killer, responsible for more deaths annually than any other weather-related hazard. As temperatures soar, the human body struggles to cool itself, potentially leading to heat exhaustion, heat stroke, and even death. Vulnerable populations, such as the elderly, infants, and those with pre-existing health conditions, are particularly at risk. Heat waves also exacerbate respiratory illnesses, as warmer temperatures contribute to the formation of ground-level ozone, a harmful air pollutant. The health impacts of extreme heat extend beyond immediate physical ailments. Mental health can also suffer during prolonged heat waves, with increased stress, anxiety, and even aggression reported. The human cost of heat layers is significant and will only escalate as temperatures continue to rise. Our global food system, already under strain, faces a growing threat from increasingly frequent and intense heat layers. Agriculture depends on predictable weather patterns, and the disruptions caused by heat layers can have devastating consequences for crop yields. Drought conditions fueled by extreme heat can wither crops, while intense rainfall events can lead to flooding, damaging crops and eroding topsoil. Heat stress can also directly impact plant growth and reduce yields. The livestock industry is not immune to the impacts of heat layers. Heat stress can reduce milk production in dairy cows, decrease weight gain in cattle, and increase mortality rates in poultry. The implications for global food security are profound. As heat layers become more common, food production is likely to become more challenging and less predictable, potentially leading to higher prices, food shortages, and increased hunger and malnutrition, particularly in vulnerable regions. The impacts of heat layers extend far beyond the immediate effects on weather, ecosystems, and human health. They trigger a cascade of consequences that ripple through societies and economies, amplifying existing vulnerabilities and creating new challenges. For example, extreme heat can strain power grids as demand for air conditioning surges, potentially leading to blackouts. Water resources become increasingly scarce during droughts, leading to conflicts over access to this essential resource. Coastal communities face a double threat from rising sea levels, driven by melting glaciers and the expansion of warmer ocean water, and more intense storms, fueled by the energy of a warmer atmosphere. The economic costs of these cascading impacts are staggering. From damaged infrastructure and lost productivity to increased healthcare expenses and displacement of communities, the interconnected nature of these challenges underscores the urgent need for comprehensive and coordinated action to address the root causes of climate change. The science is unequivocal. Human activities are driving climate change, and the consequences are becoming increasingly apparent and severe. Heat layers intensified by our reliance on fossil fuels are a stark warning of the turbulent future we face if we fail to act decisively. The time for complacency is long gone. We are standing at a crossroads, and the choices we make today will determine the course of our planet's future. The urgency of the moment cannot be overstated. We need immediate, transformative action to mitigate the worst effects of climate change and adapt to the changes that are already underway. This requires a fundamental shift in our energy systems, transitioning away from fossil fuels and towards renewable sources such as solar and wind power. Addressing the climate crisis is not just the responsibility of governments or corporations. It is a collective responsibility that demands action from every individual. We can all make choices that reduce our carbon footprint, from adopting more sustainable transportation options to reducing our energy consumption at home. Supporting policies that promote renewable energy, energy efficiency, and sustainable practices is crucial. Engaging in open and honest conversations about climate change with family, friends and communities can help raise awareness and inspire action. The challenges posed by climate change are daunting, but they are not insurmountable. Human ingenuity and innovation have brought us to this point, and they can guide us towards a more sustainable and resilient future. The future of our planet depends on our collective action. We must act now with urgency and determination to create a world where both people and nature can thrive. The time for action is now. The future is in our hands.